Dear Meral Çiçek, Chairwoman of Kurdish Women's Relation Office, REPAC, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, what is the latest update and the situation in Shangal as you placed in Suleimani in South Iraq? And what is the latest updates from the area?
Mhm. Okay, there have been a lot of tensions during the last days in Shingal, Arabic Sinjar, due to attempts by some elements of the Iraqi Central Army to force local Asayish forces to leave their checkpoints. And due to this, there have been a lot of protests. There was one big protest demonstration by people from Shingal, and these people were not just Yazidis but also Arab people. Were joining the demonstration in protest to the attitude of the Iraqi central government. We know that there have been some talks afterwards, and a big delegation from Shingal with representatives from different civil institutions like the Women's Council, People's Council, the Autonomous Administration, etc. They all joined that meeting with Iraqi officials, talked about the situation, and it seems as if they came to a solution. But will this solution be long-standing or not? That's the question now, because you know about the conflict there, that there's a problem about the status. The status of Shingal is not very clear. So because of this, it's for now the situation there seems to be more calm, but there is the risk that tensions start again within the next few days or weeks or months. So there is no long-standing solution at the moment.
What is the roots of the current tension and the impact of that tensions and stress on the area? What is the impact of all these on women?
Mhm. So Shingal itself is the ancestral homeland of the Yazidi people in northern Iraq or southern Kurdistan. It has been part of Mosul province, Ninova province, sorry. So if you look from administrative perspective, it was under the control, or let's say under the administration of the Iraqi federal government prior to ISIS attacks and genocide starting on August 3, 2014. But officially, it was controlled by Iraqi forces, but unofficially, it was guarded by Peshmerga forces that belonged to the KDP. When ISIS attacked Shingal in August 2014, both Iraqi central government forces and KDP Peshmerga forces withdrew from Shingal, leaving these people without any protection. So after it, after let's say also the intervention by PKK guerrilla fighters who intervened and rescued thousands of people by establishing a kind of humanitarian corridor to Rojava, with the help of these guerrilla forces of the PKK, the people in Shingal were able to establish their own self-defense forces to protect themselves from any further attacks and genocidal attacks. And later, these forces, especially Asayish forces, were acknowledged or recognized by the Iraqi army also. At the moment, the problem, or let's say the cause for the tension, is that on 9 October 2020, an agreement between the Iraqi central government and the Kurdish regional government, and especially the KDP, they signed a deal on the status of Shingal, deciding that all, let's say, foreign forces, and when they say foreign forces, they are talking about Yazidi forces, so the Shingal protection forces, should leave the region. And that's the issue, because the people are saying, no, these are our self-protection forces. You were not here. when ISIS attacked us, when ISIS genocided us. We had to protect ourselves. Now we have our own self-protection forces. We have our autonomous self-administration, and you recognize it because it's the expression of our collective will. The problem is that at the moment, the political collective will of the Yazidi people in Shingal is not recognized or acknowledged by neither the Kurdish regional government nor the Iraqi federal government. So, and this is creating a lot of tension because people are saying we can't return to the status quo before 3 of August 2014 because many things have changed. And the attitude of the Iraqi government and also of the KDP is like, forget about what happened, just return to the situation or the status quo before the genocide. And the Yazidi people are not accepting this. So that's the main reason for the tension at the moment.
What is the role of Turkey in destabilizing the area and the whole region? What is Turkey's aiming in that situation?
I want to bring in mind that prior to the deal between Iraq and KDP, there was a statement made by the US saying that Turkey and Iraq must collaborate or cooperate in the issue of struggle against terror, and especially they were talking about the PKK. And the Americans gave Shingal as a perfect example or an opportunity for this issue. So that means that, okay, the deal was maybe signed between the KRG and the Iraqi government, but those who were in a way giving the idea for this agreement were on one side the US, and on the other side there's the pressure of Turkey, because Turkey is threatening Shingal since years, saying they would not accept a second Kandil. So they are calling Shingal a second Kandil. And if the Iraqi government is not willing to act against, let's say, the Yazidi self-protection forces or the self-administration of the Yazidi people, they would do what is needed. So in January, the Turkish defense minister visited Baghdad and Erbil, and they are really pushing. The issue is that Turkey is defending this by saying they are terrorists, they are connected to the PKK, there is PKK presence in Shingal, and you have to end that presence because it's threatening me. Shingal is approximately maybe 80 kilometers far away from the Turkish border, so there is no threat on Turkey from Shingal. That's one issue. But the other issue is that it's not just because of Turkey's anti-Kurdish and anti-Yazidi policy. It's also because of neo-Ottoman policies and dreams of Turkey, who is seeing this region as its own soil. So, and that's the reason why within the last weeks, Popular Mobilization Forces, PMO, in Iraq have sent 10,000 more forces to Shingal, doubled their presence there, by saying that there is acute threat through Turkey, and that they would defend Shingal against any military operation from Turkey. So that means what is happening now in Shingal is a kind of regional power conflict between Turkey and Iran-backed PMO forces at the same time, because they know that for Turkey, the issue is not just about Kurds or Yazidis, but at the same time that Turkey tries to establish the ground for further occupation of soil in northern Iraq or southern Kurdistan, and with support from the US trying to establish something like a Sunni-controlled corridor to prevent further Shia influence in the region and to cut Iran's influence on Syria, on Lebanon, on other places like Yemen. So this is more part of a regional conflict with not just regional powers involved, but at the same time international hegemonic forces, especially the United States. So what is happening now in Shingal itself is something that is really not just about the Yazidis. It's further more complicated. It has to do with a regional power. And so this would victimize the Yazidi people a second time after the genocide of ISIS. So because of this, Turkey's role now, and especially Turkey's policy towards Shingal, is destabilizing the whole region. And in northern Iraq, in Shingal, in the Middle East itself, and creating tension between the different forces at the same time on the back of the Yazidi people.
Could you please tell us a bit more about the REPAC's letter campaign?
Mm-hmm. So we, as the Kurdish Women's Relation Office, we have very close relation to the women in Shingal. We are cooperating with them. And because of this, we are following the situation and the developments there. And we think that there should be a women's initiative in support of the collective will of the women in Shingal too. The Shingali women, they answer to the genocide by organizing themselves. They said, until now, we have been objects in the eyes of many forces. We have been victims throughout our history, but from now on, we will be subjects, organized subjects. And because for this, they established their autonomous institutions, structures, organized themselves to be able to really defend their existence, their culture, their identity. And we really think that should be supported. So as REPAC, as Kurdish Women's Relations Office, due to the developments in the region, we launched a petition of women where we express especially two main demands, which are firstly to cancel the 9 October agreement between the Iraqi government and the Kurdish regional government, because this agreement rejects the will of the Yazidi people, and we do not believe in any solution on Shingal without the democratic participation and representation of the Shingali Yazidi people. This is one issue. And the second demand is to recognize the self-administration, the self-governance of the Yazidi people in Shingal. And with these two demands, we launched a women's petition. We are now collecting signatures, and we are getting positive answers from all around the world, not just from women, but also from men who support our petition by signing it. And within the next days, we will share this petition with the international community, with the Iraqi government, and with the press.
Dear Meral Çiçek, Chairwoman of Kurdish Women's Relation Office, REPAC, thank you for joining us. Thanks for your comments today.
Thank you very much for giving us also the opportunity to talk about this issue. Thank you.
Thank you.